So, Desmond, you have agreed to be my frame.
Apparently so.
My strong frame.
Strong like a bull.
Strong like a bull. That's fine. You don't need the mic yet. That's it. Lovely. So, you know, in Argentine tango, 200 years ago, when Argentine tango was invented, really, it was invented by two men actually dancing together while they were waiting for their prostitute. So you know when the lady does the decoration step, so her inner thigh rubs on the outer thigh of the gent. Now you will think this is like she's trying to excite him, whatever. No, she's just very practical, just checking where his wallet is, that he's got money, coins to pay for services. Where is it? Oh, it's to the right. Oh, I should have gone to the other side. That's the decoration step, you know. And there is also a gumshoe step. If he doesn't have the money, she just does these little flips. I know. No, I won't go any higher. I could, but yeah, that's why he actually went to kind of sort himself out, so I don't reach it. But wonderful. Please, I will leave the stage now. Desmond Feehily, and he will need the mic as well. Thank you so much.
Good evening, hello, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world, whatever time of day it is. Highly unusual for me to be here, because this is television, and as you can see, I have a face for radio. It's quite, you laugh too hard at that, please stop. It's just kind of like, I mean, again, I don't know whether you know, I mean, for those of you, we are in England, and we're kind of like, I suppose, just below the Midlands, we're above London, and I came up here early today, I was having a wander around the town, and to my absolute amazement, I actually bumped into someone I know. I don't know what the chances are. I mean, obviously, as you can see, I'm in my 50s now. We'll get to that in a few minutes. But I bumped into someone I know, a guy called Steve. Haven't seen Steve since I was maybe 6 or 7 years of age. Literally, that's how long that was, 6 or 7 years of age. Literally came up to me and he's like, Des, is that you? Oh, my goodness, Des, that's you. I was like, oh, my goodness, Steve, how are you? And he said, yeah, not too bad. We had a small little chat. And suddenly he said to me, do you remember our school days? And I was like, I actually do. We grew up in a place called Wembley, famous for the football. And he said, do you remember? He said, they used to put us on a coach and they used to take us to Willesden swimming baths. I was like, I remember that. It was the highlight of the week. It really was just the highlight of the week. Put us on a coach. It was like an adventure. We got on the coach. They take us to Willesden swimming baths. And he said to me, do you remember? He used to put us in the pool. I was like, I do. I said, they used to make us get that brick. I never saw the point of that. We had to get that brick. What was the point of that? We'd get out. We'd been taught to be swimming along, that's fine. Then he said, do you remember, Steve said to me, do you remember, he said, they used to put us in the showers. Now, you've got to remember, we're only 6 or 7 years of age. So I said to him, I do remember the showers. They were very cold. He said, yeah, he said, do you remember though? He said, when we were in the showers, he said, we used to get the soap and put a little bit of soap on the end of our little fingers and just pop them up our bums to make sure they were clean. There was a very awkward silence, as you can imagine. We're only 6 or 7, and to break that awkward silence, Steve said to me, so what are you up to now? So I told him, my elbow. I did ask him if he was still teaching. Apparently he is. No, again, that's just, I love that joke. As you can see, obviously, sort of thing, I feel like I'm the granddad this evening, sort of thing. I mean, people talking about Silver Fox, Grecian 2000. But again, I mean, I don't know. Listen, this is a big, wide platform. There is a reason that I'm here tonight, okay? And the real reason for that is it's an intervention, basically. So, I'm mainly talking to all the weed smokers out there. I'm 5 years clean now. So, if you do smoke weed, consider this an intervention. Please stop, because I'm actually suffering now with early onset dementia, and sort of thing. If you do smoke weed, please stop, but it's a problem. But one of the best things about being a comedian who does suffer with early onset dementia is that the very first time you tell that joke is always the best time. Please consider this an intervention. I don't know if I mentioned this, but I'm actually... They're being very cruel. I'm 5 years clean now. If you do smoke weed, please stop, because it can cause memory issues. I'm actually suffering now with early onset dementia. One of the best things about being a comedian who does suffer with early onset dementia is that the very first time you tell that joke is always the best time. I don't know whether I mentioned, but please consider this an intervention. This is a broadcast platform where I can actually tell people, I'm 5 years clean now. If you do smoke weed, please stop. Because smoking weed can cause memory issues. And I'm actually suffering now with early onset dementia. One of the best things about being a comedian who does suffer from early onset dementia is that the very first time that you tell that joke is always the best time. I do this 27 times. Usually by now there would be someone around I could ask how many times I've done that, but there isn't, so I'll have to guess. No, I mean, again, something, I just tell you a bit more about me. I'm the sort of person that likes to go out shopping and bump into people wearing camouflage clothing on purpose and tell them I didn't see them there. It's just, that's something I like to do. I don't know, I mean, again, I mentioned my age. Obviously, I'm in my 50s now. Even though I am this age, I will tell you, the other day, I woke up to a huge erection. Unfortunately, not mine. I'm not complaining, so just, whatever turns you on. Apparently, I turned him off. Someone earlier on, I believe someone mentioned about there's going to be a wedding pretty soon. I mean, I went to a wedding recently, and this young man came bounding up to me, literally full of life, full of beans, came bounding up going, "Hi, my name's Darren," he said. He said, "and I am the entertainment." He said, "I am a magician and a mind reader." So I punched him straight in the face. Turns out, wasn't very good. I am single, no surprise, obviously, I am single. I've been single a little while now. I must admit, before I split up with my last girlfriend, I did actually take her to the hospital to have her tested for Tourette's, but it turns out that I am a tosser and she did want me to mug off. That was quite hard to hear. I started seeing a ballerina. I know, impressive, I know, started seeing a ballerina. It was all right for a while. Eventually, though, I did have to finish with her because, the sex just became all the same. It was just all first position, second position, third position. I did try and spice things up. I tried to spice things up. I asked her if I could take her from behind. But she said not in the tutu. So I took it off. I shaved my legs and everything. I thought I looked quite good in that. That one went by the window. I did actually, I joined the gym because I've got to do something about this, especially at my age. I mean, every day's a bonus. I joined a gym and again, I'm quite proud of this. I started dating a woman. I did. I know. Yeah. Female weightlifter. Big girl. Nice clean snatch. Don't get that one, but okay, we'll carry on. Again, listen, there's a few bits and pieces I can tell you. I mean, recently, so I'm not proud of this, but recently I stole a guide dog. I didn't need one, but there was no witnesses. Going back to women, as I say, I do love women, again, I once actually asked a woman what was the strangest thing that she'd ever inserted into her vagina. It turned out to be me. That's quite difficult, that one. Listen, it's all. I'll tell you what. Look, a little bit more about. I've just sort of recently, as I say, if you like, we're friends now. Basically, as I say, so. I wore my laptop out watching too much porn, okay? Being single, it's just what happened, so I had to buy another laptop. So I went out, bought a laptop, brought it home. This laptop actually has fingerprint technology. I know, nothing, but I was impressed, okay? I live in the Stone Age. However, I can prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that this laptop is female. And I know that. I can prove it because every time I run my finger over it, it says, "Please use a longer stroke to turn on." Well, just I run a few businesses. I do, because obviously making it in comedy is quite hard, because apparently you have to be funny. But also, as I say, I run a few businesses. Now, this is something that especially is an international audience, as I say. Then I'll just explain a very quick bit of background. We have a business over here, and it's called Pets at Home. Okay, and they also have like an arm which is called the Grooming Room, which sounds, I know it's not run by the royal family. No. It's an arm called the Grooming Room, and it's basically it's a combination of kind of veterinary treatments and actually taking care of your pet. And this actually happened. My telephone number is 10 different to this Pets at Home, and I get quite a lot of wrong numbers, and you have to play with these situations. But generally anyway. So I was out recently on a Friday night, I'm afraid I got rather drunk. We were out enjoying ourselves. I didn't take my phone with me. I got home the next day because I stayed at a friend's, and my phone was there, and I picked it up. There was a voicemail. I looked at this voicemail. I thought, we'll have a listen. So I pressed the button. I listened to what was going on. And as it turned out, it was a very posh lady on the phone. And she actually said, hello. She said, I wonder, could someone possibly give me a call? She said, because I came down this morning, my dog's bottom was all red and sore, and I'd like someone to have a look at it, please. So she obviously got the wrong number, so then she'd left a message. So I thought, best thing to do, nice thing to do, because I'm a nice guy, phone her back. So I phoned her up, and I said, hi. I said, my name's Desmond. I'm calling about your dog. And she said, oh, are you calling from Pets at Home? I said, no. She said, well, who are you? I said, well, listen, I was out getting drunk last night, and your dog came home with my telephone number, and I saw a bum. I thought the least I could do was phone up and say sorry. We're getting married now, labradoodles, sort of thing. Again, it's wonderful. Again, listen, one of the things I'm gonna kind of leave you with, family's very important. Family's very important. So recently it was my sister's birthday, so I took my 10-year-old niece shopping. I went to the version of kind of like, I suppose, our Walmart. So it's a place called Tesco's. I went into Tesco's, and we're wandering round, and I have a fantastic relationship with my niece. She's only 10, and I can't remember what she did, but I said to her, if you do that again, I'm going to punch you in the face. Well, yeah, he said, we have a fantastic, wonderful relationship. But when I said that, there was a woman standing nearby who had heard me say to my 10-year-old niece, if you do that again, I'm going to punch you in the face. And she was judging me. She really was judging me. So to spite her, I punched my niece in the face. I love the fact that everyone's looking at me going, I didn't. Listen, I don't know if I mentioned earlier, but anyone here, any weed smokers in the house? They've given me this opportunity to be here for this platform, because I don't know whether I mentioned this, but I'm actually 5 years clean now. And it does cause memory issues, so please do. If you do smoke weed, please stop. It does cause memory issues. But one of the best things about being a comedian who does actually suffer with early dementia is that the very first time you tell that joke is always the best. Now, one of the other things that I'm going to tell you, obviously, as a man in his 50s, I recently lost my sex drive. No, I know. And obviously, one of the things that I've started to do now is keep it round my neck. Because obviously that way I know where it is, and obviously I don't need to worry about having it erased, because believe me, I could swallow that. If it came to it. Last thing I'm going to leave you with is, because I've got to touch on the Irish connection, haven't I? Seeing as that's been mentioned. I did grow up in an Irish neighbourhood. It was a beautiful thing. We were all very friendly. We used to go and knock for our friends back in them days, and I used to go around. I'd knock for my friend, and his father would open the door. Huge, big Irishman, probably like 6'5", massive big guy, and he used to look down at me, and he would just say to me, "Hello, Desi. Are you here to play with my little Willie?" It was odd, because my friend's name was Liam. But we'd go in the house, and as you know, Irish were very warm household. I couldn't afford it these days with the heating costs, but no, very warm household. And we'd go in, there'd always be sandwiches, there'd always be cake, and then, as we'd be leaving, there used to be a bit of a bowl just by the front door. And obviously before we left, my friend's father used to stop us, and he'd get the little brush out of the bowl, and he'd just make sure he'd brush our hair to make sure we looked smart. He would take our hands, and he'd check our nails to make sure they were clean. And it took me years to realise I was being groomed. just, I do, you know, something. We touched a bit on religion, you know. And I've only got one little story, if I'm honest, about, you know, with religion. As a small child, you know, I remember my mother walking me to school, and you know, every time my mum did walk me to school, there were always loads of wolf whistles. So eventually she had to stop walking me past the Catholic church.
Are you still smoking weed, or no, you stopped?
Oh, that was a long, long time ago, sort of thing. Yeah, I can't actually remember when. No, I'm only joking. Yeah, no, that's just some of that is. I was a younger man then, and obviously, as I say, but it's a great joke.
It is a great joke. Yes, and it also reminds us of some of the, you know, pros and cons.
Well,
you know,
after a lot of the questions that you've been asking, a lot of the things I've been seeing tonight, you're talking to people. One of the things that I've been taught, and one thing I know, is comedy will set you free.
Yes.
And we lost my mother a couple of years ago. And she had dementia. So one of the ways in helping you deal with that is to basically take the mickey from that and sort of let those, you know, do a little bit of joining out for that. So, yeah.
Yes, thank you. And it helps me because my mother-in-law, Di, actually does have dementia. And she keeps reminding herself that she's not a xenophobe. Every time she speaks to me.
I hope you correct her.
Yeah. No, I don't correct her. I actually quite enjoy being the villain in this story. And then she realises that she actually quite enjoys talking to me for 2 hours.
One of the things that we were taught, and one of the things you learn is, of course, you don't correct, you join in. So
yeah, that's right.
One of the so one of the things interesting when you know, when we'd be talking to my mother would be that we'd wait to see where she was.
That's it.
So
that's
at what
it.
stage in her life,
yes.
and then obviously you just join in.
You just join in. Yes.
You know, she might be asking you to pop to the shops and get her something.
That's it. Yeah.
And you had to find out which city you were in, so you knew which shop that you could actually go to.
And
for her.
also, often it is during lockdown, so I have to go and get myself a mask.
Lockdown for me was very difficult because I'm a huge dogging fan, basically. And of course, in lockdown, you had to stay, 6 feet, away.
So how did you do
Mate,
that?
I can't shoot 6 feet. I mean, that's ridiculous. I mean, it really is. So, yeah. Am I allowed to give out my OnlyFans page while we're talking about that?
Yes,
I don't understand why people laugh at that. Just taking things not serious is a very good way of kind of, hiding and dealing with mental health issues, basically.
Yes. No, that's a very good point. I love that.
It's just, laughter's very, very important. Laughter is very important. Yeah.